Yeah, thanks everyone for joining, and apologies for the issues we're having. It sounds like it's a Microsoft issue with Outlook. We did have to send out a new link for this meeting because the meeting ended just after we started it. Accidentally ended it, and you can't restart, so we had to send a new link. So apologies for all the technical glitches that are under our control. So today we're looking at a technical update around Acumatica, and we're ERP 365, the leading Acumatica partner in Africa. The agenda, we're going to be looking at some highlights and new announcements from Acumatica Summit, which was last month over in Las Vegas. I was there as well. And just for those who haven't seen Acumatica, just a brief introduction to Acumatica, and then we'll look at the keynote address key messages, and I've actually got a recording. Hopefully it works, and we'll show you what happened live at the summit. Just a short recording summary of the keynote. We'll look at the road ahead for Acumatica, so the roadmap, and there's some nice new features that we're going to take a look at, as well as a brand new user interface, which I'll show you as well today. And Stephen will be taking us through upgrading Acumatica best practices around the upgrade process, and then we'll end up with a Q&A session. So to start with, let's look at a quick overview and introduction to Acumatica. So Acumatica is and more people are going with what we call software as a service, SaaS, in the Acumatica cloud. So the Acumatica cloud is attractive because it offers hassle-free hosting services, backup, security, etc. Scalability, always up, in a very, very secure infrastructure. So we actually run on AWS, Amazon Web Services, and we're having more and more customers moving to the SaaS environment. So as you know, with Acumatica, you can run private cloud, you can run on-premise, and you can run in the Acumatica cloud, which more people are tending starting to do. In South Africa, I think in the US, it's always been more cloud and less private. And in South Africa and Africa, we've found the other way around. So it is migrating to cloud. The reason people are going cloud isn't because it's in the cloud. It's more around the technology and the fact that we have connected business, so connected systems in the cloud. That's what kind of delivers the value add to customers using true cloud, we call them, or proper cloud products like Acumatica. So that all your information is in one place, accessible on any device. So any operating system, any device, Android phone, iPhone, Apple Macs, Windows devices, etc., accessing Acumatica. So the cloud benefits of cloud, really high availability, always up. So the 99.9999% uptime means always up. Ability to collaborate remotely. So when those users who went through COVID with Acumatica, it was actually amazing because they could carry on running their businesses from anywhere, and collaborating using the cloud, as we all started to do, using these wonderful technologies that when they work are great, like today, and hopefully you're coming across loud and clear. Using mobile devices is becoming more popular, obviously, not only for our lives, but for accessing the ERP system in a secure way, and the ability. So a lot of people aren't aware of the scalable sort of attributes of Acumatica, and we can scale up. Most of our customers are sitting around here with what we call 3,000 commercial transactions, and those are normally sales invoices. And ERP transactions 60,000. This is a monthly volume, but we scale up and up. You can see at the top here we're going. This is not the end; it goes bigger, to over 1 million monthly commercial transactions, over 20 million monthly ERP transactions. That scalability is enormous. So we're scaling kind of past the old legacy, big, mid-range ERPs and large ERPs with Acumatica. The world we're in is a connected world, and some of the stuff we'll just touch on today will be things like the Shopify, so the partnership with Shopify and the partnership with Amazon now, and we're talking about Amazon commerce. These commerce platforms are starting to, we're seeing a change in the way people are working in the world. So people that manufacture products are now becoming resellers and distributors as well. So the supply chain is changing, and more people are looking for what we call omni-channel, ways to get to customers through different platforms. So the connected world is really something that's affecting us in a good way. Acumatica is still the fastest growing cloud ERP. That's over the past 8 years as measured. So it's still rapidly growing. These are the areas Acumatica and we focus on. So manufacturing. So we're doing more, not just discrete, but process and job shop manufacturing. We've got specialized modules catered for those. Quality management. So QC is embedded into manufacturing and into the distribution retail side. So we have the same QC system inside of Acumatica. Projects and service, so mainly around construction and service, as well as field service and equipment maintenance and rental. On the distribution side, Acumatica is strong, and we've got a built-in warehouse management system. And I'm going to show you some new announcements around logistics. We handle things like reverse logistics, which is when people return things. So it's not just logistics out. More and more in the omni-channel world, incidents are around what we call reverse logistics. So when people are buying online and returning back at the store, returning online via courier. So the process of handling reverse logistics is more complex actually than the outbound logistics and needs to be part of the ERP. And other verticals that we're catering for, so property management, hospitality, equipment rental, payment systems localized, accounts payable automation is quite a big growing area. And then localized HR and payroll for Africa. So from the keynote address messages, I've just got a little summary here. I'm going to show you a video if it works. So highlights of the keynote from John Case, who's the CEO at Acumatica, revolved around the changes in technology. So we've all seen the dramatic changes around AI and how AI is impacting our world suddenly. We all knew about it, and 2 years ago we started talking about it, and a year ago it started impacting, and now it's actually quite important and affecting all our technologies. And an improved business climate. I'm not sure about South Africa, but I'm sure certainly in the US they're seeing an end to the interest rate cycle going up and a start of an interest rate cycle going down, and we normally will follow suit. I think some of the third, we call them emerging markets, not third world, but emerging market countries have seen a tougher time, but I think we're all seeing some green shoots of a better business climate. Another announcement made was the addition of a professional services edition that's based around the projects, and I think we offer that already, but that's going to be launched later this year. It's actually an addition, so it'll have some new features around professional services. And then a lot of talk around the partnerships with Amazon and Shopify that Acumatica have partnered with, and delivering embedded technology. So I'll talk about that just now. They also showed us a new logo. So the new logo is this. This is really the new part of it and the new typeface. It's a modernized version of the old teardrop, they called it. So that's the new Acumatica logo, which we've adopted. So let's hope this video runs and you can hear the audio.
Welcome to Summit 2024. Today's successful companies are already great at their core, but they're finding new ways through technology to reach customers and drive efficiency. Everything we do, we've done to solve real-world customer problems and in the same security and privacy model that we already use.
Acumatica takes seriously the responsibility of taking care of your data. You can trust us. We have your back.
So we created Acumatica, the cloud-native architecture that's future-ready. It's so much more than just ERP. It's a platform that will take your business well into the future.
Acumatica is taking it to the next level.
This is just a start. We haven't even scratched the surface of what we're going to do yet. It's truly amazing that together we can have this kind of impact. And we are only beginning. There's so much more for us to do.
This is an opportunity for our ecosystem to come together, to network, connect, and have a good time.
I like to do it in one place. I like speed dating. Nice to see other customers doing really well. It's motivating for me.
Every hour it passes by, you get a lot of value out of it.
I would sign up willingly every time. It's just to have 3 days where I can actually focus on learning about Acumatica is huge.
This is our opportunity to build the future of business together. Building the future of business together. Building the future of together.
Right. So in terms of the road ahead for Acumatica, some of the new features. So on the manufacturing side, the ability to report parallel operations. So that's where things are happening in sequence, not only sequence one after another, but simultaneous operations in manufacturing is new. Access to distribution requirement planning. So we know, well, you've heard about MRP, material requirement planning, in the manufacturing side. Now, Acumatica have added DRP, which is helping, kind of non-manufacturers and light manufacturers. So one really nice new thing in Acumatica is a light manufacturer to use what we call kitting with the DRP. So in other words, replenishment of inventory for sales orders could be from purchase, where you buy stuff in, could be from manufacture, where we're running full-blown manufacturing, and then it's called MRP. But it could be from what we call kitting, which is quite a powerful feature, and which Acumatica have beefed up now. So you can actually put demand planning on end products that are kitted, and the DRP will drive that. So you can say replenishment of this thing is through building it, and we have a kit, and it's built through the DRP process, which I'm going to show you shortly. I'll quickly go in there and show you that. So that really helps with the kind of the light manufacturers, distributors. If you're running a full manufacturing plant behind your distribution, then you'll be running MRP. Okay. One of the other, because it's quite a few, but one of the other features I wanted to show you today is the managing of sales allocation. So sales allocation is kind of like booking something for somebody. So if you've got, especially we have limited supply. So it's all very well having allocation unlimited, with infinite amount of stock. But reality is, if you've got 100 widgets and you've got 3 customers wanting 100 each, how do you allocate that? So there's a new tool in Acumatica that can semi-automate or automate the allocation to customers that are higher priority with different criteria. I'm going to give you a quick look at that as well shortly. The other announcement was the partnership with Amazon. So the general availability of built-in Amazon connectors. So I know in South Africa, Amazon are building a big office in Cape Town, which I live in Cape Town. I've seen that thing going up quite quickly. And they're going to be on the ground here taking on the take-a-lots of the world very soon. And the integration through to Amazon for vendors is really important. So it's all very well, there's lots of small companies selling things through Take-A-Lot and Amazon. And they need to process and integrate with the Amazon systems around reconciliation and payments and statements. And that's the partnership that Acumatica are driving with Amazon. So let me jump out to my browser here. I might have to just refresh it. There. So the first thing I wanted to show you quickly is the new feature in Acumatica called MRP, DRP, Distribution Requirement Planning. So this Acumatica instance is waking up. It should come up now. So this is what we call item class setup in Acumatica. You'll notice this is a finished good. Okay, could be a sub-assembly. And the planning method, now the new choice here is DRP, okay, not just inventory replenishment, which is interesting. And on the inventory planning tab, I can now specify not only purchase or manufacture or transfer or dropship, but kit assembly. So that's quite a neat feature. So we can say that we replenish this through making it ourselves, but not through a full manufacturing process. We just assemble it through what we call kitting. And then that's good. You can see then other criteria that would apply. So that's a neat new feature inside of Acumatica. The other thing I was wanting to talk about quickly, the inventory planning display. So once you've done a DRP, you would get this kind of display. And this is after, you can see then the tab says, so over here I've got source. I can say, give me all the purchase to order and purchase items. And I can do that and hit the purchase button or say, buy them all. Obviously I can edit this and you'll notice the manufacture button. So source of replenishment, if I say select all, we've got manufacture, transfer, and assemble kit. So that's really the new, really nice one I wanted to show you. So depending on the source of replenishment for this item. So while I'm here, let me take you to the sales allocation screen. So what I did is I actually created 3 sales orders. So I want to put here, allocate sales orders. So you can see this can be an automated process. So anyone that knows Acumatica will know that where we've got that little clock, we can set an automation with rules, schedule, run this every 5 minutes with conditions. I'm not going to go through all that now. Okay? I'm doing it manually now. I'm going to say for the wholesale warehouse, for a particular item. So I'm going to say select by line, ship on. That means where we selected when we're going to ship these things. So I've created a Hershey's Chocolate Kisses. I've created 3 orders for Hershey's Chocolate Kisses. One from each of these particular customers. So it's this customer, that customer, that customer. And you'll notice the order priority, I might want to put that there. They've got a priority 1 order shipment. They've got a priority 3 and they're a priority 4. They've ordered 5,000. There's 5,300 available. The system is allocated 1,200 to them, but you can see in 4,100 to them and nothing to that poor guy because he's on 4. So I could say, you know what, give him 100. Now this guy, even though he's a priority 4, let's give him 100. Okay, so balanced allocation. So I can manually override that and then hit process. Okay. So this can be an automated operation with some intelligence, or we can kind of look at it and say, well, I don't quite like what you've done here. I'm going to override you and then hit process. So quite a nice new feature. Let me go back to my screen. So those are 2 little things that I wanted to show you. Another new feature is support for Gmail. Now, the fact that Outlook went down, so we can't believe that's why we've got so few people on this call now. We actually sent out a link because we changed links and my Outlook didn't work. And then I got a call from one of my staff saying, Outlook is down. I said, what, just us? No, apparently it's across the country. It's down all over the place. So that's what happens. And Gmail would be the backup, I suppose. And one of the requests we've had often is, Acumatica integrates really nicely and, with Microsoft and Office 365. What about Gmail? And I'm talking about full integration, not just sending mails. We can do that now. So there's now a Gmail plugin for Acumatica. Gives us that that full integration. Workflow capabilities. A lot of people aren't even aware of the workflow capabilities in Acumatica, but this really has been beefed up, and we've got more intelligent triggering through business events on most screens. So if you go to Acumatica and take a screen like inventory, let's take inventory issues, which is not a mainstream thing. So let's just go up to show all issues. Issues is not a thing. So normally workflow would apply to things like sales orders and purchase orders. We know that. But an inventory issue may or may not in the past have had a workflow process. But if we go to show state diagram, there is the workflow process, which is editable, customizable for inventory issues. Okay, so it's pretty simple, but that's a feature a lot of people aren't even aware of. And this is being rolled out through Acumatica, not just through the mainstream things like purchase orders, sales orders. So those are all some great new features in 2024 R1, which is now available. And 2024 R2 is going to start bringing in that new user interface, which I want to talk about. But here's some of the information on 2024 R1.
Design and development, because our bet is on you guys. This is why we put so much emphasis on how we prioritize our roadmap that is heavily weighted based on your input, your discussions and votes on our community, the dozens of customers visits that I talked about that we make with every release. We have focus group sessions. We've got customer advisory boards. And of course, this session here at the summit. Yesterday, we learned so much from you. But in fact, this year we have many sessions that are specifically designed for you to participate in and provide us feedback on the direction of the features that we're actually working on for the next couple of releases, so that you can shape and make them look like what you want them to be in the future. So for example, we'll be showcasing product prototypes of order orchestration, which is all about distributed order management, which completely automates the order fulfillment process for multi-warehouse operations. You will also get to see early builds of product bundles with advanced kitting. That will allow you to sell bundles, of course, but you'll also be able to see components availability, include component demand into replenishment, understand bundles profitability, and so much more. And you'll get to see early versions of enhanced assemblies, where not only you'll be able to assemble kits, but you'll see insights of capable to build, kit profitability, component availability, and so much more. So we look really forward to working with you on these upcoming features, and it's going to be just incredible. So at yesterday's keynote, we talked a lot about how industry lines are blurring and providing opportunities to a lot of these businesses to grow and expand using our cross-industry capabilities to attract new types of clients. In our upcoming segment, we'll highlight why cross-industry is so relevant, even if you only operate in a particular mode today. You're going to hear from Joel, our construction product manager, who will share, of course, the product direction and strategy for construction division, but so much more focus on this cross-industry capabilities. Debbie, our manufacturing product manager, will talk about what the trends in manufacturing are and how Acumatica is enabling manufacturing companies to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Kelly, our distribution product manager, will share the changing dynamics of distributors and how they're taking advantage of opportunities ahead. And Josh, our retail product manager, will close that industry segment with some really interesting market insights and his product direction, which will not only impact retail, but potentially impact all our industry divisions. So let's get to it. Design and development.
With a completely new design. This new design is enhanced to provide a better readability of the screens. It very well adapts for the different types of the devices. We also come up with a completely new set of the user controls that have been reworked for the new user experience and improvement. We're also coming up with unmatched personalization functionality that is eventually allows you to modify nearly any element on the screen to provide the best usability for the users. We significantly improve the customization, where we're enabling multiple user interface customization for the same screen and even same screen element. And we're coming up with a completely new technology where we replace the entire layer that is responsible for the user interface with a new set of the technologies and services. And with that one, I want to move to my demo. Okay, as I did it so many times, I need to wear glasses to do it. So let me log in. And I will go to my favorite screen, which is the sales order. So I'll go to sales orders. And let me pick some sales order for the demo. Okay. Surprise, surprise, but that's expected. That's one new feature that I want to demonstrate to you. This is a preview of R1, which is not available yet. And I will go to the Tools menu. And over here, I will tap this wonderful button, switch the user interface screen on. By hitting this button, it will switch my screen to the new user interface. Very quick, very featured, very nice. Look into this pop-up message over here that just appeared. It notifies you that it's a new user interface, but it's not for production yet. Now, take a look on this screen. Definitely it looks much better error messaging. If we will, let's say, go to the financial steps, we see that information organized into the panels, they're collapsible, and they really makes the interface much more readable. Now, if we will go to the personalization settings that I was presenting last year, and I will go to this configuration menu. Over here, I can really select which elements I see. So for example, I want to see my description over here when the panel is collapsed. I want to see, let's say, my freight total amount when my panel is collapsed. I can add the field, I can add user-defined fields, and I can completely rearrange my screen here. We're adding also the feature over here that allows you to configure the tabs that you do see on the screen. So I can go here and let's say, okay, I don't want to see taxes. I want to move my payments information on top. And I want to apply that. So that rearranges my tabs and makes the screens better. And I just apply that. I just apply that to the screen so you can see my screen rearranged and looks much better. Also, I want to highlight a little bit how well the new user interface adapts for the different resolutions. So for that one, I will just like rearrange it like this one. So you can see that depending on the screen resolution, it moves really nice. It can be worked on a very small resolution like this one. It can be working on medium resolution. If you have shorter screen, it will reduce the fonts and reduce the density of the screen. So we did a really good job in this area. And as the last thing that I probably will do, I will create a shipments out of this one. And while it's processing, give it a few seconds. So I didn't warm up the application on this one. So it might take a few longer. Okay, and here we see the old user interface, but intentionally because this switch, I can do it endless. It's really nice. Okay, so that's all great and very nice, but that's not my main presentation. And the main reason why we do and implement this new user interface is because of the new opportunities that it gives us. And right now, when we convert existing screens, we pretty much follow the current screen design. Because we need to keep the backward compatibility and we need to hold it for some period of time until you can convert the customization and convert the IC. But there is a screen where we took all of our imagination and completely revamped it. And I want to demonstrate it and show you what this new technology allows us to do and what will be the future of that Acumatica. So with that one, I will go to the screen calendar board in the field services. Give it a few seconds to load, and let's take a look on this one. So it's not only looks great, it's actually works great. So let me show you that. So first of all, over here on the left side, I do have a list of my scheduled appointments and a list of my unscheduled sales. So you can see that they colorize, they highlight the priority, but what do I need? Like, how can I find the details on this? So here's the first thing. I can click on the element and I do have this quick preview panes that allows me quickly to take a look on the details of my order. Let's imagine I need to find something. For example, 487. I can quickly search it. 487. Sorry, 487. Great. Then I can take and drag and drop it into a place to schedule. And basically you can see that system will retain the width of the control proportionally to the time. So it really reflects the time of the duration of the appointment when you do the scheduling. I will not do scheduling right now, but what if I get a call and someone calls me to find out when is my appointment scheduled? I need to reschedule that. So that one, what I can do, I can go to my scheduled appointment, and the same way I can basically put a string into the search here. So for example, like I will put like this one, unfortunately closed. Sorry. So I will pick this one, for example. And the system will quickly locate me point inside of my calendar and navigate me there. Then, what if I want to schedule for the particular set of the people? Over here, you can see that I actually do have my filters, and I can configure my filters over here, and I can switch between them. So for example, this is configured to search only for the guys who don't have the hardware skills. Then, when I want to reschedule this guy, I want to take a look at that and I want to see where's his going. And over here, I can see my link here. And I can take all of that from this stream, and I can click on the appointment over here. I can see details. I can do my operations here. I can create even appointments straight away from like this. Is it great?
All right, great. So hopefully you could hear and see that video. So I'm really hoping it's coming through on this technology. Yeah, so the third section, that sort of concludes some of the announcements, and hopefully in just half an hour, that we were there for 3 or 4 days, but in half an hour, hopefully I've got some of that across and shown you some of that. And in the third section, we're going to look at upgrading Acumatica. So if Stephen is online with us, then he can unmute and talk. I'm not sure if Stephen, if you're there. If you're not, then I can do my best to take everyone through the upgrade process. Stephen, I don't know if you're there. So let me do my best to take you through the Acumatica upgrade process. So Acumatica, we call it upgrading. It can be as easily as an update. So Acumatica is very resilient. But I think in terms of best practice, just hitting the update button, you can try that, is probably not the best way to go. So in terms of Acumatica releases, so we have two, and that's very consistent, 2 releases a year. So we have 2023 R1, 2023 R2, and we're just going now to 2024 R1. And they're normally around the April release of R1 and September release of R2. Okay. What Acumatica does, though, which I think is good, because we found with legacy or old ERP systems, people are sometimes stuck and they're running a 10-year-old version. And because the old systems weren't really built to be customized, it's actually impossible to upgrade. You've got customizations and custom integrations. You've missed, 12 or 15 versions, and you cannot upgrade. People are stuck. And I think Acumatica has always had the current cycle methodology or method of upgrade, and they're warning us all the time, retire, and people are penalized. If you don't upgrade, you're actually penalized. So you're penalized by, it's going to cost you more to run Acumatica on a subscription. You don't get supported anymore. So most of our currents are current, and we don't expect you to be current right up to 2024 R1 was released last week and now you're going to run it. But we say stay one version behind. So everyone should be now on 2023 R2, and in by middle of the year, go 2024 R1. Some people also prefer to skip an update every time, and they go straight to, so they will have no 2024 R1 and go from 2023 R2 to 2024 R2, okay, and do one a year. That's also acceptable. So that's kind of the release cycle. And there are updates in between. So updates, we will, on our service level agreement, we will inform you, we'll let you know. We say, look, there's an update, we suggest we do it. If you're on SaaS, that update will be done. You'll be notified that there's an update. So products are retired, as I said, and these, so we're going back to 2022 R1, and if you happen to be still running that, you need to upgrade urgently. So you're one behind. So in fact, from 2022 R1 backwards, those are retired versions. So they're not eligible for upgrade, that you get penalized. There's no support, etc. It's not a great position to be in, but it's also very good to stay current. Your Acumatica version is a specific version, so it's important, and you can pick that up. So when you log into Acumatica at the bottom of the screen, it's got Acumatica Cloud ERP 23.112.0032. That's the actual build 23.112.0032, but you're on 23 R1. Okay, but the build versions are important. So the 23 R1 tells you which release it is, and the second release obviously 23 R2, and then the actual update number is 12, and the build number is 32. So it just tells us exactly where we are. That's important for things like snapshots and for customization. So if you've got a customization for a certain build, we've got to make sure that we implement that customization in that build. Okay. Upgrades have got to be planned, and I think your planning of an upgrade is is probably more important than the upgrade itself. So planning what's got to be checked and tested. What we'd like to do is make a list. So we'll say, right, that's quite easy. We go into Acumatica, look at customizations, and list them, and say, right, we've got 10. You might have 1, you might have none, you might have 20 customizations that are published, which is quite normal, quite fine. So list those and make sure that on the checklist, each of those has been tested in the upgrade. So we do a test upgrade in a test environment and make sure that each one of those is signed off. Okay. So not doing that is dangerous. The second thing we'd look at would be integrations. So how many APIs, and we can look at integrations and again, make a list of them and sign them off. And the third area will be custom reports. So all of these should be fine. You know, as I say, you can go the cowboy route and just do an update and hope for the best, but far better to go through. Otherwise, we get surprises. And for a large organization, doing an update, you know, you're going to have a little bit of downtime. You're going to say to everyone, we schedule an update in Acumatica. We say we're locking you out for from midnight until 6 in the morning. We're doing an update, but you don't want to go wrong and have to do it again, or get a, you know. So you really want to check these things. So the third area will be custom reports and generic inquiries that have been customized. Let's check those as well. Sign those off on the test, the test platform, and also review the release notes because functionality with an upgrade will change, normally for the better. But you need to check and say, look, it's changing. A, can I take advantage of it? And B, is it something that's going to affect what we're doing? So check the release notes as well. And then finally, third-party or ISV, independent software vendors. So those are products that are not core Acumatica. Make sure that, and those are sometimes a little bit slower because remember we've got hundreds of ISVs in the world developing really good stuff for Acumatica, but they've got to keep up to speed. In other words, when we do it ourselves, we've got customizations that we develop, and we've got to make sure that we're certified for 2024 R1. But that takes time. So we've got to start building, when the beta comes out, 3 months before release, start updating our ISV product, or the ISVs update their products. And it may not be ready at release of 2024 R1. So we've got to check, has the ISV vendor got a certified release ready for the version you're going to? If not, especially if it's mission critical, we're going to wait. We're going to wait for the ISV. So that's really important that we do those checks. So I suppose the opposite should be, why do upgrades succeed, what I'm telling you, but why they fail is not doing all those things. So what do you need for a successful upgrade? Well, I think you need to have a partnership. So you need us to help you with the process. Plan ahead. So we say we're upgrading because we're going to be retired soon, so we need to upgrade. Or we're upgrading because we're going to be retired and there's some new features we're taking advantage of. So all those items are important. Make sure that we have a plan, which I spoke about. So have listing your customizations, your reports, your ISV third-party products, and generic inquiries and integrations, so that each of those can be checked. Do that test upgrade and sign all those things off. Check each one. So there's no use upgrading. It looks fine, might look fine, but have you checked? Have you tested? So make sure we test and sign off. And it is a little project. So make sure we have resources available. Make sure we planned ahead for a test environment. Do we need a temporary test license? Are we going to try and simulate the complete environment, or are we going to just do a test on a sample company, a demonstration version? So we need to check all those things. And then the outcome must be that the plan is executed, signed off, and the upgrade was successful. Then we can now go and use it. So, yes. So I guess if there's any questions for me, because I'm the only one here, people are battling to connect. If there are any questions, if you could unmute, you are able to unmute and you can ask me verbally. You're obviously welcome to email anything to me as well. So I don't know if there are any questions at this stage from anybody. Are you able to unmute? I can go to my call screen. I'm just going to have to do this then. And I'm going to get this. Let me just stop my video. I just want to see if there's any chat items here. No. Okay. I don't see any questions there. So the session, when it ends, will record. And as I say, apologies for the link. There was a Microsoft break if anyone joined late. Outlook had a problem and we couldn't send out a link. And we had a problem because the session ended and we had to start a new one. It doesn't let you do that. We had to create a new link. So it was a double whammy. We couldn't send the link out. So yeah, sorry, is there a question? No?
I could go.
All right, great. So I want to end the session. The recording will be sent out to you once we've edited it. So thank you for your time, everybody, and have a great day. Cheers for now.